All right, let's talk about something that on the surface feels completely backward. You pour all this time and energy into building a system for maximum uptime, for high availability, and then one day, while you're watching, it just decides to shut itself down. It feels like it's broken, right? But what if I told you it's actually doing its job perfectly?
So, picture this. You're a sysadmin. You've got a standard 3-node cluster chugging away. It's maintenance time, so you do everything by the book. You carefully move all your virtual machines over to one single host. Then you reboot the other two. You'd expect that last host to just keep humming along, wouldn't you? I mean, it's more than powerful enough. But instead, it completely freaks out.
And that's the big question, isn't it? This is the mystery we're going to unpack. The hardware is totally fine. All the VMs are safe and sound, nothing's even close to being overloaded, so why on earth does this perfectly healthy, super powerful server suddenly stage a rebellion the second it's left by itself? It makes absolutely no sense. To get to the bottom of this, we kind of have to put ourselves in the server's shoes. We have to see what's going on from its perspective. See, it isn't just one machine. It's part of a team. And when the rest of its team suddenly vanishes, well, you could say it has a bit of an existential crisis.
Now, the very first clue to solving this whole puzzle is this quiet, invisible rule that's running things behind the scenes. It's a really simple, almost democratic principle, but it is the fundamental law of the cluster. The majority always wins.
And this principle has a name. It's called quorum. Honestly, the best way to think about it is like a vote. In our little 3-node cluster, you need at least 2 of those nodes online and talking to each other to agree on what's happening. If you can't get that majority, the system decides it can no longer trust itself to make good decisions.
And here's where it gets really interesting, because this is where the server's point of view is the total opposite of ours. See, we know we shut down 2 servers for maintenance, but the last server, it has no idea. All it sees is that 2 of its buddies just disappeared into thin air. It has no way of knowing if they crashed or, and this is the important part, if its own network connection got cut. So to play it safe, it has to assume the absolute worst, that it's the one that's been isolated from the real cluster. Now this paranoia, it isn't a bug. It is a critical, life-saving defense mechanism. It exists for one reason and one reason only: to prevent a total catastrophe that's so much worse than a little downtime. A scenario that engineers have a terrifying name for: split brain. So before we get all frustrated with our server for shutting down, we really have to ask ourselves this one simple question. What could possibly be worse than that? Well, the answer is having 2 systems both thinking they're in charge at the same time.
A split brain. It happens when a network glitch literally splits your cluster in 2, but both halves stay online. Each side, completely blind to the other, might decide, hey, I'm the real cluster now, and start firing up the exact same virtual machines. And that, well, that's a recipe for absolute chaos.
And this slide just lays it out perfectly. On the left, that's our plan, right? One host, happily and safely in charge of everything. But on the right, that's the nightmare. You've got 2 different hosts, both running duplicates of your most critical VMs, and here's the killer part, both trying to write to the exact same shared storage. They're going to start overwriting each other's data, scrambling file systems, just total data corruption.
As one admin who actually lived through this mess put it, this is the exact moment your day goes from just being bad to being an absolute catastrophe. This is the scenario that Quorum is designed to prevent, no matter the cost. You know, downtime is recoverable, but widespread data corruption, often it's not.
Okay, so right about now, you're probably thinking, but wait a minute, I told the system what I was doing, I put the other nodes into maintenance mode, and you know what? That is a perfectly logical thought, but it runs headfirst into a very harsh reality of how these complex systems work.
Look, maintenance mode is a fantastic tool. It's a really clean way for you to tell the cluster, hey, heads up, I need you to gracefully move everything off this node for a bit. But here is the critical distinction. It's a message about workloads, not about the fundamental physics of the cluster. It doesn't get to suspend the core rules of quorum. To the cluster, a node in maintenance mode that suddenly goes offline looks exactly the same as a node that just blew up. It's just gone. That vote is lost, and the protocol has to be followed.
So why is this system so stubborn about this? It's because it's built on this one foundational, almost cynical truth. You can never, ever 100% trust the network. A little message that says a node is in maintenance could be an old, delayed packet from 5 minutes ago. The only thing that server can truly trust is a live, active connection with a majority of its buddies right here, right now.
And this chart just shows you the brutal, unchangeable math of small clusters. A 3-node cluster can handle losing exactly 1 node. The second another one disappears, for any reason at all, quorum is lost. Game over. This is a super important design constraint to remember. If you need your system to survive 2 nodes failing at the same time, you've got to have at least a 5-node cluster. There's just no way around that math.
So, let's circle all the way back to where we started, that moment where it looked like the server was just panicking. Hopefully by now, it's starting to become clear that this wasn't a panic at all. It was a cold, calculated, and frankly, the correct decision based on the information it had. The system isn't failing you. It's not being buggy. It is flawlessly executing its programming in the face of deep, deep uncertainty. It's following its prime directive, the one rule that trumps all others. Above all else, do not harm the data.
You know, we humans, we have the luxury of context. We know it's just a controlled maintenance window. But the system, it can't afford to trust that context. It has to operate based on these unforgiving rules that were designed to survive the most chaotic situations you can imagine, like a construction crew cutting a fiber cable, or a network switch failing, or a power outage that takes out half the rack. It's engineered for the worst-case scenario, not for our convenient one.
So what's the real takeaway here? When that last server shuts down its services, it's not giving up, it's not failing. It's making a very conscious and deliberate choice. It's choosing the only path of absolute certainty in a world where it can no longer trust what it sees.
And that's really the beautiful simplicity of it all. When it's faced with a situation with ambiguity that could lead to a total disaster, the system does the absolute safest thing possible. It doesn't guess, it doesn't hope for the best, it just stops. And that is a design choice that trades a little bit of temporary convenience for permanent correctness. And really, that's the big lesson here. The most robust systems aren't the ones that never fail. They're the ones that know how to fail safely. And that's a trade-off you're glad it makes every single time.